A huge story in gaming broke yesterday when it comes to Warner Brothers, WB Games, studios closing, games being canceled. That is the biggest thing happening right now. So we will start with that and go over everything that's happening with that situation. We have Xbox news for some Xbox update that has been dropped. The Xbox games boss talks about the multi-platform strategy. We have some more information on that. AI in gaming is continuously growing. Now Steam wants to identify which games have AI, and you will see one of the biggest games in the world has AI in it, which is not too shocking. We have some more information about a game on Game Pass that potentially could be a game of the year, according to Shuei Yoshida. Konami and Bloober are working together again, and a bunch of other things to go over. But before we continue, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like, share, and subscribe. And if you are new here, you enjoy what you see, or if you've been watching for a while and are not subscribed, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Let's start off here. And let's talk about this whole Warner Brothers situation, because this is just absolutely crazy and also sad at the same time. Warner Brothers has come out and they are shutting down 3 studios. And I think for a lot of people, the one that is the saddest to see close is going to be Monolith. They are closing down Monolith. The Wonder Woman game has been canceled, and who knows what the future of the Nemesis system is, if there is a future at all. So here's the report. Warner Brothers Games is closing down 3 internal development studios and canceling its Wonder Woman game. Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War studio Monolith, which is what a lot of people know this studio for, specifically because of the Nemesis system, which was revolutionary when it did drop with the first Shadow of Mordor game. A very fun game. The Nemesis system, super cool. As you're going through, you're taking out the orcs, the leaders change, they backstab each other. Like, it's just so cool how that system did work when it did come out, and that unfortunately now is all up in the air. And this was first claimed by Jason Schreier, and it wasn't 100% confirmed, but Warner Brothers has come out and said here that they are closing down a bunch of studios. Also closing down Player First Games and the mobile-focused studio WB San Diego. And WB, Warner Brothers, they came out with an official statement saying this. Warner Brothers has confirmed the reported closures in a statement issued to Kotaku reporter Ethan Gotch. They say, "We have had to make some very difficult decisions to structure our development studios and investments around building the best games possible with our key franchises: Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, DC, and Game of Thrones." Now, what's interesting about that first statement here is we did hear yesterday that they were looking at making some more DCU games, and they were in talks with James Gunn and everything, and he was trying to figure out what would be the best move forward and what characters and all that stuff. So they're obviously downsizing, and they're focusing on the pillars that will make them the most money with less risk. I mean, that's kind of what we've seen across the entire industry happening with many studios out there. They're just focusing on the stuff that they know will make the money. That's why you see remakes and everything, and less risk going forward for their game development. Continues here and says, "After careful consideration, we are closing 3 of our development studios: Monolith Productions, Player First Games, and Warner Brothers Games San Diego. This is a strategic change in the direction and not a reflection of these teams or the talent that consists within them. The development of Monolith's Wonder Woman video game will not move forward. Our hope was to give players and fans the highest quality experience possible for the iconic character, and unfortunately, this is no longer possible with our strategic priorities. This is another tough decision, and we recognize Monolith's storied history of delivering epic fan experiences through amazing games. We greatly admire the passion of the 3 teams and thank every employee for their contributions. As difficult as today is, we remain focused on and excited about getting back to producing high-quality games for our passionate fans and developed by our world-class studios, and getting our games business back to profitability and growth in 2025 and beyond." So there it is. It is official. Those 3 studios are shutting down. Wonder Woman is canceled, and WB is trying to move forward here and grow the business with games that they believe will guarantee them sales success. This is just what's happening over the last couple of years. This is what's happening in the industry. Lots of layoffs and lots of closures and lots of games being canceled. Unfortunately, we will never see what this Wonder Woman game was all about. Were they using the Nemesis system in it? All of that type of stuff. We have no idea, and we'll never see, unless I guess maybe there's going to be a leak in the future of the pre-development of the game or the alpha of the game. Who knows how far they go along here, but it is sad to see. And Monolith closing down, I think, is, at least for me, the biggest shame here, because they made some great games, and now all of their IPs, everything that they had under them, is seemingly lost, and who knows where they go from here, if they will ever be revitalized again. It seems like probably not, but this has just been, again, the continuation of some bad things happening within the gaming industry. Now, like I said, I don't think this is a crash or anything. I think this is just things kind of shrinking back down where they were overinflated over the last number of years. So we'll see what happens if there's any more information that does come out with this story. All right, let's talk quickly this Xbox update. There was the February update, nothing really big here, but we'll just quickly go over it. So first of all, you can now send invite links to friends to join cloud gaming sessions. That's kind of cool. If you're playing on the cloud, you want people to join you, you just send them a link and they'll be able to hop right in. And the other thing they do here is they talk about streaming more of your games that you do own. There are some more games that are being added. Right now, Game Pass Ultimate members can stream 50 plus cloud playable games on their supported devices. But recently, they've added Blasphemous 2, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Slime Rancher 2, Subnautica Below Zero, The Talos Principle 2, and Tomb Raider the Remastered Collection. And then on top of that, here are some more games that are coming to this service: Atomic Heart, Cult of the Lamb, Hotline Miami, Killer Frequency, Neva, Overcooked All You Can Eat, Phantom Breaker, Battlegrounds Ultimate, Serious Sam Collection, Trepang 2, Worms Armageddon Anniversary Edition, and then there will be more continuing to drop. So this is the continuation of Xbox building out their cloud platform, so it's not just Game Pass, it's games that you buy. I mean, you see Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 there, which is a brand new game. A lot of people went out and bought it, and instantly they're going to be able to play it through the cloud. If they're away from their PC, they're away from their console, you can put it on your phone, which is always very cool. And the cloud streaming has absolutely improved over the last year or so. It's very stable. I use it all the time now, comparatively to where I was a couple of years ago, where I just stayed away from it because I didn't think the service was great. Now I think it's a lot better. I use it on my mobile network and it works fine. So cool stuff there. And I hope they just continue more and more and more of bringing more of these games to stream if you own them, if they're not in Game Pass. That'll just open up this ecosystem to a lot more possibilities. All right, Fable. We talked about this yesterday. It has been delayed until 2026. I put out a video yesterday if you want to see my full opinion on it, but basically I don't think it's a big deal whatsoever. Make sure this game comes out at the highest quality possible. There's so many games coming out in 2025. It just gives me more time to play all the other stuff that I do want to play. I also think games like GTA 6 maybe play into the decision. So they announced the delay, and then we saw some clips come out from the podcast about some pre-alpha footage for Fable. And the game looks absolutely stunning, looks phenomenal. Obviously, the question will be, how does it feel in your hands when you do get it? But here is the footage. I was blown away by just how good this looks. It's not surprising, though, because Playground puts out very high quality stuff. But this is the pre-alpha footage, and you can just see, like, graphically, it is going to be shaping up to be a beautiful, highly detailed video game. And you can see also some of the combat here, which looks pretty cool. Obviously, there's a lot still that we need to be able to see once we see more about this game. I still think we'll see this at the summer's showcase, probably a deeper dive into Fable. But man, after seeing this pre-alpha footage, even though it is delayed and we're gonna have to wait even longer, I am still very, very excited to see just how this game does turn out. So very excited for Fable. And like I said, I think that this delay is absolutely fine. They just need to make sure that there is a high quality release with it. And especially for Playground, they don't want their reputation to be hurt as a studio that puts out games like Forza Horizon, which are always revered as some of the best in the industry. So they're making sure that this one will come out at its highest potential. Looking forward to playing that one. All right, this next story here is kind of interesting because, as we know, Shuei Yoshida got sent over to the indie side of PlayStation before he retired. And he put out a tweet yesterday about a game that is coming to Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, and that is Blueprints. This is a game launching April 10th. They showed it off at the ID at Xbox Showcase yesterday. It's a first-person puzzler style of game, and he believes this is going to be a Game of the Year candidate. He put this tweet out here, quote tweeting PlayStation's trailer of it and saying this is going to be one of the Game of the Year 2025 candidates. And it's significant for him to say that because as the guy that was head of indies, he obviously has some experience with this studio and everything, has seen it, has probably curated it a bit, and here he is saying it could be a game of the year candidate. Like I said, this launches in April, so keep your eye out for it. April 10th is when it does come out. If you're looking for potentially another game to play that could be a game of the year candidate. All right, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, the new one coming out is going to be Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4. You could pretty much bet on that, as there now has been a rating that has surfaced in Singapore. And this here was spotted by Kurakasis via Gematsu, saying that if you head over to the Singaporean ratings website, you will see that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 has been rated general and has been approved for the region. So this looks like it is coming out here on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, Nintendo Switch, and the PC. March 4th is the date where I'm sure they're going to make the announcement, tease it, show off gameplay, all of that stuff. And the question here is this dropping into Game Pass day one? You would assume so, as it is a first party Xbox title here from the Activision side of things. So this is just going to be another huge launch. I would be guessing this game is coming out this year. I don't think this one needs to be announced far in advance, other than maybe a few months or so. So this will be another big game. And we're talking about Fable being delayed. Again, they have more stuff like this continuously coming out, and you would guess dropping into Game Pass day one, or even if it's not, still another first party game from Xbox. So I'm excited for this, as I did love the Tony Hawk games back in the day. All right, AI in gaming always causes an uprising and an uproar whenever any information does come out about this. But I think it's important to tell gamers if there are AI generated assets in the games that you are playing, or at least let them know before they make a purchasing decision to go out and buy the game. Steam database is now letting players filter out games that use generative AI. So here is the story on this one. There is a new AI content disclose tag on the Steam database site. So this is the site where you see all of the games that are available on Steam, all of the games with the player counts and everything like that, how many people are online concurrently. But they say here that Steam currently doesn't make it possible to filter its games so that only those without AI generated content disclosure sections can be viewed, because Steam does disclose it on each game. But SteamDB has now added this filter, and a new AI content disclose tag on the site lists more than 4,900 games currently on Steam which have an AI generated content disclosure section in them. So there's about 5,000 games almost that have AI in them. One of the games that has AI in it itself, I don't know if this is surprising, because it is a game that comes out every year and they're going to try to cut costs in any way possible with Call of Duty, as it's the best selling game every year and they want to make as much profit as possible off of it. Is Call of Duty is a game that does confirm here that there is generative AI in use. So they have their disclosure when you go to the Call of Duty page, and it says, simply stating, our team uses generative AI tools to help develop some of the in-game assets. And they say here, as reported by 80 Level at the time, the update included a loading screen showing an illustration of a Santa zombie with telltale signs of AI generation, such as odd-looking ribbons on his parcel, his left hand in an unnatural pose, and his right hand having 6 figures. So that is, I guess, that picture there. And then it has also been discovered by Call of Duty news site Charlie Intel that some of the game's Steam page now finally features an AI disclosure, albeit a vague one that doesn't go into detail on exactly which in-game assets are AI generated. They're not going to tell us. We won't know. We probably will barely even notice which ones are AI generated, especially if they're while you're playing the game. Like, you're moving too fast through it to really notice and see it. But I would assume it's just assets that are repeated across maps and things like that, and maybe they want some slight variation between them that humans doing that would just take way too much time to do. We don't know, but this will continue. I will not be surprised to see if that Steam database list continues to grow over the next couple of years here. AI generated assets are going to be used more and more in video games, for costs to be cut, for more money to be made. And yes, AI will take some jobs, which is the unfortunate part, but you have to look at what's going on in the industry right now. Look what just happened at WB Games. AI or not, something has to give here in terms of these developers and publishers finding more ways to be able to reduce their overall costs, because the rising costs in game development is just getting pretty crazy. And if it continues to go this way, we may see more major studios like a Monolith be shut down. All right, let's talk about Xbox's multi-platform approach. We do have some more talks about this from Craig Duncan, who is the Xbox Game Studios boss. As we know, he is now at the top there for Xbox Game Studios. He talked about the multi-platform strategy. We haven't really heard his opinion on it. This is, I think, the first time that we've heard him talk about this before. And he doesn't say anything really new here, but it basically just says here that it's good for players and good for the developer. Specifically, this is during the official Xbox podcast where we heard about the delay for Fable. We saw that pre-alpha footage, and he was asked about this, about the multi-platform approach. He says, yeah, I think it's good for gamers. I think it's good for our studios. And then he goes on here and talks about games that are going to PlayStation 5 soon, like Doom: The Dark Ages, which that one, all the Dooms have been there, so not a surprise. But you have PS5 version of Indiana Jones. You have Forza Horizon 5, which was a major announcement going to PlayStation 5. And he says, I just think it's good for gamers. It's good to have our games reach more places. Everyone that makes a game wants it to reach as many players as possible. So I love that we can give that opportunity. And I mean, he's spot on here. I mean, you could go and ask any developer out there who works for PlayStation, works for Xbox, works for Nintendo. And if you had to give them the choice to lock their games to a finite amount of people or have as many people be able to experience the art that they have created, I think like 99% would say, yeah, I want as many people to experience the game as possible. So that is something that they do have as, I would say, an advantage to offer developers who are deciding where they want to make deals with their games, Game Pass deals, subscription deals, things like that, where they say, we'll give you this deal and your game goes everywhere, versus being locked away to a singular platform, which would be the style of deal that they would most likely get from PlayStation. So that is definitely an advantage. The other thing here that, I mean, they never talk about is obviously they're trying to make as much money as possible. And this is the way to make more money, is put your games in more places, and especially on PC, where that is a growing platform that is going to be the future, I think, for most developers. Now, as I talked about yesterday, there's no difference between PC and console anymore. You're developing a single game and then you're optimizing it for the different platforms. Whereas previously in older generations of consoles, you actually had different versions between console and PC. So nothing really new there, but we hadn't really heard from Craig, I don't believe, when it comes to his opinion on this strategy. Okay, a couple more things here to go over. Just some quick hitters here. First of all, Tekken 8, which I actually just recently picked up and hoping to jump into more, has sold relatively well. It sold over 3 million copies, which has reached the milestone faster than what Tekken 7 was able to do, which overall sold 12 million, but Tekken 8 is already at 3 million copies sold. I've played a little bit of it. It is fun. I mean, Tekken is always a great game. We got Konami and Bloober team here who are working on a new game following Silent Hill 2. So if you've enjoyed Silent Hill 2, it looks like they are going to be going together and making more in this genre. I would assume maybe some more Silent Hill stuff here, but they do say this: the trust built upon the success of Silent Hill 2 laid the foundation for signing another agreement for a new project, and the deal aligns with Bloober Team's strategic plan to expand its internal development division within a first-party framework. And they add here, although the details of the project remain a mystery, it is confirmed that the game will be based on Konami's intellectual property. Konami will continue as both the publisher and the rights holder of the game. I would guess it's probably another Silent Hill project, but we don't know. Silent Hill 2 did well enough for them to be able to continue to make games. We have the announcement here for Quake Con 2025. It is announced from August 7th to August 10th. So if you're interested in that, more information is available there. And finally, Steam Next Fest has launched, and this offers players thousands of demos. It runs from now until March 3rd at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. And they say for the next week, try out thousands of demos for upcoming games of all kinds, from hardcore survival shooters to cute sims. There's something for everyone in Steam Next Fest. And you can see here as well, there is a lot of stuff happening at Steam. They put out a schedule and everything for their sales. So if you're interested in the Steam ecosystem and you want to know when to wait to purchase stuff, go check out that calendar. But I will end the video there, guys. Let me know what you think about all of this stuff. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the thumbs up. If it's your first time here, subscribe. If you've been watching for a while, also subscribe. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. I'll catch you guys in the next video.
Bye.